Welcome. What is up? Welcome to the Mixer Saudi Arabia GP preview. We're about 55 minutes or so away from lights out, and just wanted to get my thoughts in ahead of the race as it relates to DraftKings, maybe some other bets today, and just how the race is gonna unfold in my eyes. First things first, we have a podcast on iTunes, Spotify. Give it a listen. It's the Mixer Show. We talk Formula One primarily at this point in the season, and also some NFL. Every now and then we'll bring up the big headlines in the sports world, but our focus is going to be Formula One for the majority of the year, and the NFL when things start popping there. We have a website. It's fcwinemixer.com. I did a write up this morning about Sergio Perez and that he, um, provides excellent value this week in DraftKings lineups, and really looking to get out more DraftKings content as it relates to Formula One. I see this as a a huge opportunity for us to grow. I mean, we're kind of uniquely positioned. I feel like I've been watching Formula One for forever. I mean, not forever, but since the late 90s, like 97, 98. I've seen every race since 2008. There was a period in time in high school where I kind of fell off Formula One. I was just focused on other things, but I mean, there was like a 2 year window where I didn't pay too much attention to it. But anyway, I've been locked into Formula One. I am one of the few that are not new to F1. So right now, obviously with DraftKings launching, we got a whole bunch of or spreadsheet virgins entering in this space. And anyway, I'm an F1 Chad, so hopefully I can provide some analysis, some knowledge on the sport that may be valuable to some out there. And you know, as the as new people are entering their interest in the Formula One and in the betting world, I think we can get an edge. And I mean, I think this week is a perfect example of that, because we had Sergio Perez take surprise pole yesterday over both Ferraris, and his teammate Max Verstappen down in fourth, who checking DraftKings prices, Leclerc has the highest salary coming off his win last week. And then, it's Max, Lewis, Sainz, and Perez is the fifth priced, all the way down, significantly below his teammate. And he starting from pole on a street circuit. We've seen Perez have some success at street circuits before. He won in Baku last year, and he also won the Saudi Grand Prix 2 years ago, which, in my opinion, is the closest thing we have to this track here at Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. It's basically a drag race, there's some twisty bits at the start of the lap, but yeah, I mean, at least half the lap is just a point and go drag race. Something that gives me a little bit of pause on that is the Ferraris do seem to be good in the straights, and obviously Red Bull had some power supply issues, or with their both their cars, both their main team cars retiring last race, and then Pierre Gasly's AlphaTauri and the sister Red Bull team, catching on fire. But I mean, just looking at the odds right now, we have Perez at plus 295 to win the race, behind Leclerc, Verstappen, and you just don't usually see that where the guy starting from pole on a street race, in a race where there may not be too much passing because narrow, the walls are close, drivers maybe a little hesitant. I mean, he's pushing plus 300 odds, so I just see that as a huge kind of contrarian play. If we're talking DFS, yeah, I just see it as a huge opportunity. Now, I mean, there are people probably using the same argument to take Leclerc, who's starting from second, and Verstappen, who's starting fourth, and you know, um, Verstappen can make up a few positions, which will add to his point total, in comparison to his teammate Perez. But I mean, I don't think the Ferraris are really going to let him through. They're going to have something to say about that. Who knows what's going to happen at the start of the race? And Max's driving style's pretty aggressive in a narrow street track like this. More likely to have something like that come and bite you. So those are my thoughts with regards to Perez. I have him in my captain spot in the lineup. Um, he's a lower salary than the other guys. I feel like he'll be low owned in comparison to most other. We'll see in the as the season goes on, players starting or drivers starting from P1. They're going to have naturally a high ownership number. So I am taking that discount and hoping that I have an advantage over the field with Perez in my captain spot. I'm not stacking. I'm not stacking a constructor with my captain. I'm opting for Ferrari here. I feel like they're both, have a good shot at being on the podium. I mean, they're starting from second and third. It seems like they have the best car. So my thinking is how the race unfolds. Ferrari, not going to worry too much about Perez in the front. They're going to be focused on Max behind him and try to keep it behind him. Keep him behind them, and hopefully they can bring it home 2-3 with either Leclerc or Sainz. I think that kind of is why I'm not rostering one of the Ferrari drivers, and instead opting to get exposure to him by slotting him in as a constructor, because I mean it just seems like there's nothing between them at this track. So picking the one that's going to finish the head of the other is kind of difficult. So my thinking's there, and Lewis Hamilton starting way down the grid has a potential to make up some positions and finish in the points. He could be a high scorer. However, I don't see him getting ahead of Russell, who's starting in sixth, and he's just been struggling. And we've kind of seen this in the past where if the weekend's just not going right at all, that to be able to resolve it would be a hell of an accomplishment. I just don't see it happening. I can see him finishing in the points, but the Mercedes has been struggling in general. I just don't see them, getting higher than 8th or 9th. So I'm opting for Russell as a Mercedes driver, and then teams I'm avoiding AlphaTauri, Red Bull engine problems. Pierre Gasly didn't qualify too well, and you have Sonoda way down in 19th, who can make up some position, but it just seems like that Red Bull badge, Honda supply with the new fuel system, maybe not exactly a match made in heaven. So I'm just staying away from AlphaTauri, staying away from Williams and McLaren. kind of for the same reason. I'm kind of targeting cars with Ferrari engines. They're doing well, and and I gave my thoughts on Perez, who I feel can bring it home, and yeah, and the two Ferraris up front. So those are my thoughts on DraftKings. Just looking at the betting odds as far as odds to win, fastest lap, and the sort. Fortunately, I'm in California, so don't have access to all the betting options that others may have. But Sergio Perez plus 295. If you're looking for long shots, certainly George Russell. If it's a messy race, it's chaotic, plus 5,500. Yeah, I mean he's in one of the best cars we've seen. He's certainly capable of winning. It might be worth just sprinkling some small bets on. Uh, I mean Lando Norris, even longer odds at plus 25 or 25,000. I mean, he's certainly capable of winning, and we've seen these races where there's accidents, and with the red flag restarts and the timing of it. I mean, it could just be chaos, and somebody like Lando could get lucky if he times his stop right. Ocon certainly has a shot of winning as well. He won last year. He's plus 8,000, and Fernando Alonso plus 12,000. I mean, not many races will have this opportunity for these kind of long shot plays, but with Saudi Arabia and the tight confines and proclivity to chaos, as it would seem, that I just think there's some value in just sprinkling some long shot bets on here, and if it hits, great. You got some bankroll for future plays, and if not, you're down a few bucks, and or however many. Bet responsibly, obviously, but that's what I'm thinking. Um, Winning car looks like Ferrari, or actually Red Bull's the favorite at minus 130. So I think there's some value there with Ferrari at minus 105. That would be a good play as well, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm thinking people are going to be heavy on Max at plus 215, but I just don't see it. He can certainly win, but coming from fourth on the grid at a street circuit like this and having to pass two title contenders to get there is going to be a hell of an ask. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Yeah, join the discussion. Follow me at FC Wine Mixer on Twitter. Gonna have more Formula One content. And yeah, let's get this pumpernickel. I'm ready. Toodaloo.